Hello, it is Topical Tuesday, April 24th, I believe, 2019. Steve Sipress here. And so Robert Mueller finally finished his investigation and all that kind of stuff, I don't know, about a week ago or so. No, he finished it like a month ago. But then the report came out that everyone's been waiting for, the big report that's going to change everything and blah, blah, blah. That came out about a week ago. And here's the deal. I don't have to tell you unless you've been living under a rock or unless you've been really incredibly strong and smart enough to ignore all of the BS and the nonsense going on in American politics over the last, I don't know, 4 years or so. It's total craziness with no end in sight, by the way. It's totally extremely entertaining. However, there's one thing is for sure. As I flip around, as I always do, to the different TV stations, the pro-Trump channels, the anti-Trump channels, and I look around all the different social media accounts, my friends and different forums and websites that are pro-Trump and others that are anti-Trump, and of course the vast majority of people that are in between the two extremes. But they all have one thing in common with absolute certainty. Nobody is happy with the Mueller report. Everybody is disappointed. Who, again, out of the ones that are paying attention, people that are smart enough to not pay attention are not disappointed. They could care less about the whole nonsense. But people that are paying attention, anyone with opinion, they're all anti-Mueller suddenly. I mean, for years it was like, oh, aside from the guy's lifetime full of corruption and hanging out in the D.C. swamp and making millions of dollars off of his connections, because that's just how corruption works in our government. So Mueller, of course, participated in all that kind of nonsense. However, all the other corrupt politicians, made everyone tried to make everyone believe. Of course, not everyone's that gullible, but they tried to make everyone believe this is a man beyond his reputation beyond reproach. He's an upstanding man of 100% integrity. Like, sure. But anyway, all that aside, he was put up as this paragon of virtue and let him do his thing. And, anti-Trumpers, pro-Trumpers all pontificating for years like this is what he's going to find. The walls are closing in. The end is near. Trump is panicking. And then the pro-Trumpers are like, it's a witch hunt. There's nothing to see here. He should end the investigation already. Blah, blah, blah. Come on now. All the craziness. Well, now the report comes out, and everyone is disappointed. The anti-Trumpers are all disappointed that this didn't clearly call for the impeachment, arrest, jail time for Trump, his family, his friends, his associates, his administration. Every single person who's ever even seen a picture of the guy ought to be in prison for life, according to the anti-Trumpers. And the pro-Trumpers are all upset that Mueller pulled like Jim Comey did with Hillary. And pulled Trump we're not charging him with anything, but here's all the nasty bad things he did. I mean, did we not learn our lesson from Comey coming out at that press conference however many years ago, 2-3 years ago now, with Hillary's emails, and coming out and going, I'm not going to prosecute, but, and then he went on. No, he went on for 15 minutes. So I don't know if you were like me, I was watching the thing going, holy crap, I cannot believe they're actually going to charge. This is going to throw the whole election into a tizzy. The whole country's going to be crazy. It's close. It was only months away to the election, and Democrats going to have to pick somebody new because he's just going off about all the bad stuff he did. But then at the end, he was like, but we're going to let her off the hook. Nothing to see here. Life goes on. Well, then you should not have spent that 15 minutes trashing the crap out of her with all the illegal things she did. And same now with Mueller. If you're going to say, I'm not charging the guy, you don't spend hundreds of pages going over all the details of all the reasons that you almost charge the guy. It's just not the way it works. So, of course, all the pro-Trumpers are upset with Mueller for all the nasty things he pointed out that Trump has done his whole life. He's, done dirty, underhanded, nasty, shady, whatever you want to call it, stuff his whole life. So Mueller pointed out some of that. The anti-Trumpers are like, hey, you shouldn't have pointed that out, since he didn't, do anything. Or since, of course, Trump collude with Russia. Trump barely colludes with his own advisors. Doesn't collude with anybody his whole life. But anyway, if the guy didn't do anything wrong to begin with, then the pro-Trumpers are like, then what's with all the investigation going on for a long time? Like, it was always obvious. He didn't, especially if once you start investigating guy and you start interviewing people and checking things out, it's obvious it was a whole made-up thing to begin with. So all the other stuff about him trying to obstruct it, you should have ended the witch hunt, a long time ago. So they're all upset with Mueller for enumerating these 10 or 11 things or whatever that Trump told this guy to fire Mueller, and he told Jeff Sessions, unrecuse yourself and to do this, and then he did that, and he's not supposed to do this, and he went, yeah, of course, okay, great. So they're all upset, but then the anti-Trumpers are all upset that there's no clear grounds for impeachment. Hey, you didn't come out and say, and it's obvious, and the evidence is clear, it's clear, what is it, it's hiding in plain sight, massive collusion. Look at all, he had a meeting, he took a phone call, a guy talked in a bar, like all this stuff, and then he said this and he did that. That's obstruction, or it's attempted obstruction, which of course is not a crime, attempted obstruction. Anyway, so the bottom line is everyone is unhappy with Robert Mueller. And why? Here's the lesson for business owners. Because he tried to please everybody. And that's the point. If you try to please everybody, you're going to end up pleasing nobody. There's a saying, which hopefully you know, someone following my videos, you ought to know by now, that sharp business owners are sharp marketers, and sharp marketers, we have a saying, if your prospect is everyone, your client will be no one. You cannot possibly appeal to everybody. So you must take a stand. Otherwise, you're going to suffer the same consequences that Mueller's going through now. Not that he gives a crap. I mean, the guy's retired, and he'll go back to his millions of dollars of honestly gotten gains. No corruption here. He's an upstanding guy. He just happened to come out of a public servant. He's such a public servant that he came out and, used his connections, that's called corruption, to profit multiple millions of dollars. What do you know? So he's going to go back into his cave and have a happy rest of his life. But he's going to go down in history as the guy that nobody liked. Nobody's happy with him. So you don't want to be the same way in business. You want to take a stand. You don't want to try to please everybody. You want to come right out and say, this is who I'm for and what I stand for, and this is who I'm against and what I'm against. This is what I believe in. This is what I absolutely don't believe in. This is why you should do business with me, and this, if you're like this, then you shouldn't do business with me. I'm not for everybody. That's what you ought to say. So take me as an example. I am not for you if you're not super aggressively growth-oriented in your business, which that pretty much describes about 90% of business owners who just want to survive the downturn that we had for 10 years. Now that the economy's booming, they don't want to miss the train, and they just want to boom along with it. They want to grow along with the economy. They don't want to grow faster than the economy. They don't want to, quadruple in size. They want to get what everybody else is getting. They want to go with the flow. That's not my client. Okay, I'm not for you. You can do that all on your own. You can grow slow. You can grow not at all. You can sit there and just survive. You can grow by 10%, 5%, 12%, 15%. You can do all that on your own, or I'll let you know about all kinds of consultants and coaches and helpers that, can help you basically do that, which, especially in a booming economy, growing by 10, 20% is nothing. But if you want to double, triple, change your entire life, it's not even double or triple. You want to go from, making $60,000, $80,000 a year to making $300,000, $400,000 a year, to go from a $500,000 company to a $5 million company in a couple of years. You want to completely transform everything and blow everything up and have a fantastic transformation to success, work a lot less, have a lot less stress, have a lot more fun, make a lot more money, help a lot more people. You want to make major breakthroughs and major transformations, then I'm for you. That means I am for very, very few people. But that's the way it is. I'm not here to please everybody. Okay? So you need to do the same thing. Now, does this mean you turn business away? Not likely. Okay? If somebody walks into your office, say you're an attorney, somebody walks in with a case and it's a minor case and the fee's only going to be 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 grand. I'm not saying, as long as you have the staff to handle it and you have the capacity and you're not full to brimming over with clients, You take on the work, you accept it. You know, a few $1,000s, great. That doesn't mean you're not spending all your time, money, energy when you're doing advertising and marketing, going after the $50,000, $100,000, $300,000 settlement that you can get so you can make some real good money. That's where you put your time, money, focus, energy into attracting that client. It doesn't mean you necessarily say no when the smaller case walks in the door, but you don't spend any time, money, or energy going after the smaller case. In fact, when you're recording a video or putting out an article or speaking somewhere or giving a presentation or holding a seminar, you just tell people straight out. You say, if you have a $5,000 or a $10,000 case, I'm not your guy. Okay, I will refer you to somebody else. I am the guy. If you have a very serious case and you need someone to handle a big serious case, I'm your guy. Okay, you'll see financial advisors do this all the time. In fact, tax day just passed a couple weeks ago, but that's when all the tax resolution firms ramp up their marketing because taxes are on everyone's mind. And it's something like if you're in trouble with the IRS and you owe them money, we can negotiate and get you pennies on the dollar. Or we can get them off your back, stop them from garnishing your wages and all this kind of stuff. And then they usually say, if you owe more than X amount. They're not saying they can't help someone. It's the same number of phone calls, the same amount of paperwork, whether you owe $3,000 or $300,000. But that's what they're saying. I'm not going to spend any money on advertising to attract someone that owes the IRS $3,000. What kind of fee are you going to pay me? I'm going to attract somebody that owes the IRS $300,000, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000. So now you're going to pay me a fee. I'm going to, shouldn't have said it's exactly the same amount. Of course, there's a more work involved. You probably have more missing returns that have to be filed and more things have to be negotiated and more steps and more things involved in a smaller case, but it's not that much more work. The point is, they will say straight out, if you owe the IRS more than X amount, give us a call. People who don't know any better might think, oh, they can't help me if I know. It's not that they can't help you if you owe less than that amount. They just are not looking to attract that person. Again, if you just walk in their door or just call them, they're likely not to say no. But they're not going to spend any money attracting anyone other than their ideal target, who. That's the first W of the WOW strategy that I hope you're using in your business, in your marketing, advertising, and sales, because that's what works. 3 simple letters. The ideal target who that you want to attract, and everyone else you need to repel. That's a lesson today. Unlike Mueller, who didn't repel anybody and didn't attract anybody, everybody is like, hey, he said this is good, but that's bad. And people on the other side, he said that's bad, but this is good. Take a stand. Okay? Attract your ideal target who. That's the first W of the WOW strategy. And you can attract them best with an irresistible offer that they absolutely can't refuse. That's the O in the WOW strategy. And once you get that down, now you're just going to figure out the way or the ways you're going to use to communicate that irresistible offer and get it in front of your ideal target who. Are you going to do TV commercials? You're going to do YouTube videos? You're going to do blog posts? You're going to do live seminars? You're going to use email? You're going to put up a website? You're going to go to in-person networking, whatever. Those are all different ways. That's the last thing you figure out, what way or ways you're going to use. But the first thing you need to figure out is who is your ideal target who that you want to do business with you, and what's the very best irresistible offer you can put in front of them to attract them to you. For that, you must take a stand. Do not be milquetoast Mueller and try and please everybody. Okay, I guess it works in politics because it lights the world on fire and it keeps all the fun and games going on both sides, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, even in the middle, everyone's got something to talk about. When you're looking to make money in your business, you're not just trying to get conversation going. You're not trying to get clicks and sell commercials and get viewers. You're trying to attract clients, customers, patients, members to pay you money. For that, you need to take a stand. Don't be milquetoast Mueller. That'll do it for Topical Tuesday. Thanks, everyone, being here live. Thanks, everyone, watching on the replay. And I will be back tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday with a tip specifically to help you make money on the internet. Thanks for being here today. As the sun sets in the west, we had some spectacular colors back there, some kind of rain clouds around during the day today, but at least here it did not rain, or not yet. But it is another spectacular, beautiful sunset over the mountains behind me. And that'll do it for Topical Tuesday. I'll catch you tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday. Over and out. Bye-bye.